Hi, I'm Cody Polchinski, and I'll be presenting my Management 260 midterm. So, for my lesson learned, I took it from Chapter 4, in which it dealt with the global environment and the forces that get thrown at businesses and how managers react. So, the lesson I learned was the global environment forces, and they present it to managers, it's either an opportunity or a threat, depending on how you react to it, and it then determines your outcome. I thought that was interesting because it's a great way of looking at it. With the COVID-19 pandemic, there's many obviously threats, but good managers can take those threats and look at it and find opportunities and within them. So the different types of forces in the general environment are technological forces, sociocultural forces, demographic forces, economic forces, and political and legal forces. And technological forces are a big time deal right now with, everything, a lot of commerce being online. Online shopping is a big deal, and it's becoming bigger and bigger due to people not wanting to go into businesses and, risk getting sick and, basically working on their social distancing. So, there's many people working from home on their computer. We're doing online schooling mainly, a lot of online stuff. And there's many people that maybe have had to adapt to that, in which learn how to use a computer better, use software better. But, the pandemic's a threat, but there's opportunities within them. So what I did for my case study was I looked at Levi's jeans. There's a case study on how they plan to accelerate e-commerce and invest in AI initiatives to help reduce COVID-19 pain. So basically, the revenues in the quarter in which the pandemic hit, their revenue fell by $800 million compared to last year. So that's obviously right there, that's huge. So in regards to that, what they had to do was the CEO of Levi's announced that they had to cut 700 jobs. So 700 people lost their jobs due to this pandemic. So right there, obviously that's a big hit. And so what they're doing is they're considering the balance of their physical versus digital investments. They're increasing digital investments because, as I said before, many things are online, and it's more people are using online to shop. So to invest in digital makes more sense because everything's shifting that direction anyways. So they're using that as an initiative to, kind of balance the physical and digital investments they have right now. And they are also increasing their online channel aspect to their selling approach, kind of pushing the e-commerce and promoting it, basically. Because what they realized during that quarter when they lost that money, the opportunity which arose was their e-commerce increased 25%. So even though their revenue fell big time, their e-commerce increased. So what they decided was they were going to, improve upon, their e-commerce. They're going to invest more in that and in their capabilities within their e-commerce. So they took that threat and they turned it into an opportunity with using it and taking advantage of the online sales. But they're also cutting non-urgent projects, instead focusing on driving a better consumer and employee experience to make more money. And if it's a non-urgent project, they're kind of focusing on just working on the e-commerce and creating a good atmosphere. So between the lesson I learned and the case study was, the lesson was they're presented with a threat, and you can take advantage of the opportunities, or you can be thrown down by the threats. So Levi's, they had obviously threats and had to cut 700 jobs, but they're on the rise and taking advantage of the opportunity of the e-commerce and trying to improve upon that. And they're even doing customizable jeans online. So, that's an aspect they never had before, and they've taken the advantage of e-commerce and, implemented that online customization, which I think is very cool because, people can go online and, make jeans that they want. So they took that opportunity and they're moving forward with it. And the thing about this environmental change is that we haven't dealt with such a widespread pandemic for, I'm not even sure how long, but it's definitely something that managers have had to adapt to, companies have had to adapt to, and it's just whether they let the threats drag them down or crawl back with taking advantage of those opportunities. So every business is seeing it, and I thought the Levi's jeans example was an interesting one to dive into. So that is my presentation, and I hope you enjoyed.